Have you heard about the Ellora Cave Temple complex? Do you know that this is a complex of 34 cave temples was carved out of stone using a unique technology? Watch the video to the end and you will learn how this unique complex was created, as well as about what the main structure is, megalithic temple of Kailasanathawal. Are you ready? Then stock up on pancakes and tea, and let's go. India is a country located in South Asia and occupies most of the peninsula of India. From the west it is washed by the Arabian Sea and from the east by the Bay of Bengal. The climate of India is diverse. The western part of the country is in an area of insufficient moisture, the eastern is sufficient, and the northern mountainous part is in the high mountain climate zone. India is considered one of the warmest countries in the world. India is also known for its ancient civilizations, of which was Arab or Inca civilization that existed in the Indus Valley in the 3rd-2nd millennium. After the arrival of Muslim peoples in northern India, the Delhi Sultanate was created, existed from 1206 to 1526, which by the 14th century united the entire territory of modern India. Modern India is a multinational state and ranks second in the world in terms of population, which exceeds 1.5 billion people, while the country faces the problem of poverty among a significant part of the population. Economically, India is a key developing country, with one of the most developed and rapidly developing economies in the world. It is a country with a rich historical and cultural heritage. It is considered the birthplace of spices, tea, yoga, chess, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Hinduism is one of the oldest religions in the world, which originated in India. Trimurti is a concept uniting 3 supreme gods of Hinduism: pantheon of Vishnu, guardian of the universe; Brahma, god of creation and knowledge; Shiva, god of creation, support, and destruction. In honor of these deities, many temples have been built throughout India, of which amazes with its beauty and grandeur of the most amazing temples. Dedicated to Shivas in Ellora is the Kailasanatha temple, which is part of the famous temple complex Ellora Caves. Its peculiarity lies in the fact that it is completely carved out of a single rock. This majestic temple, towering above the surrounding areas, a true masterpiece of architecture and art. Ellora, a small village in the Indian state of Maharashtra, located about 30 kilometers west of the city Aurangabad. Since 1983, the cave complex of Ellora, including numerous temples and forts listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Ellora is a unique place where 3 peacefully coexist religions, which, in addition to the high artistic value of the complex, gives the place a special cultural significance. This is a feature, as well as impressive sculpture, temple's mystical atmosphere, creating a slightly gloomy and even frightening atmosphere, make the Caves of Ella a real calling card of India. Caves of Ella include 34 temples and monasteries stretched along the cliffs for about 2 kilometers. These structures were created in the period from the 6th to the 10th century AD, when different religious movements replaced each other in the region. Studying the history of India, we can trace how Hinduism gradually replaced Buddhism over a significant area of the country, starting from the 6th century AD. Archaeological excavations and dating of the temples in the Bab Ella complex confirm that the first Buddhist temples appeared earlier than the Hindu ones later in the 8th century. The huge Kailash Santa temple was built, and by the 10th century 5 Jain temples were added. Thus the Ella caves serve as a kind of history textbook illustrating the development of religious traditions in India over the centuries. Kailasanatha temple in Ellora stands out for its unique construction technique. Instead of the traditional method of erecting buildings from the bottom up, this temple was created by carving from a single monolith, and the work was carried out from the top down from sides, magnificently decorated with carved patterns. The temple symbolizes Mount Kailash, revered sacred by the 4 main religions of the region: Buddhists, Hindus, Jains, and followers of Bonus. The heart of the world precise construction treatises were used in the creation of the temple, which served as a guide for architects. Construction began from the top of the slope, where a trench was first cut out in the rock surrounding a monolithic block, from which the craftsman then sculpted the temple itself. The height of the temple reaches 30 mt. The length of the base is 55 mand. The width is 36. The temple is located in a huge artificial pit with an area of about 5 diuzujuroesq. Mass excess parts of the stone were removed. A huge monolithic block gradually turned into a temple consisting of 2 halls, numerous statues and bas-relief. Sikh detail carried a deep symbolic meaning. A plinth with a height of 8 macround the lower. Part of the main temple was decorated with 3-meter images of sacred elephants and lions. It seems that they support the entire weight of the world to emphasize the perfection of the structure. The temple complex was covered with white plaster, polished to a mirror smoothness. The entire complex consisted of 3 parts surrounding the central temple and dedicated to the deities associated with the cult of lice. The Elira complex contains many unique temples and monasteries, but the most famous and impressive is the Kailasonatha temple. This architectural masterpiece attracts attention not only with its size, but also with an unusual method of creation as well as rich decor, which gives rise to many questions regarding its origin. It is still unknown who exactly created this temple, but researchers put forward several hypotheses. Most scientists associate the creation of the Kailosa temple with the activities of King Krishna I, who ruled from approximately 756 to 773 AD era. However, there is no scientific evidence of this fact, and in this context, an ancient legend plays an important role set out in the treatise Katha Kolpatra, the author of which is considered to be Krishna Yajnavalkya. According to this legend, the wife of the king, who was suffering from a serious illness, turned to the Lord Shiva with a prayer asking for her husband's recovery. In exchange for his health, the wife promised to build a temple in honor of Shiva and to observe the fast until the completion of the upper part of the temple Shikara. The king was soon cured, and work began on the construction of the temple. However, the spouses faced a problem. Completion of the work required a long time, and the temple was built for many years. Then one inventive master suggested to start building the temple from the top of the mountain, which allowed the dome of the temple to be completed faster. This decision made the queen's task easier, allowing her to break the fast earlier than expected. Although this story is rather mythological in nature, historically confirmed that the Kalos temple was indeed built from top to bottom. This method involved the removal of over 200,000 tons of volcanic material from the rock. Not a single element of construction or decoration was brought from outside. Everything was created directly from the rock massif. Considering the size of the temple, the rich decoration of the facade and courtyard, is believed that construction could have begun under Krihana and continued for at least 100 years with the addition of decorative elements by various rulers. The rock temple of Kailasonatha in Elarathis is a truly unique architectural achievement, embodying both engineering art and spiritual greatness. The main sanctuary of the temple, surrounded by smaller sanctuaries and mandalas, which are connected by a complex network of corridors and halls. The entrance to the temple is guarded by 2 massive courtyards called pulangs made with incredible precision and detailed carvings. These sculptures, made with great skill, create a powerful impression upon entering the temple. Gapuras are the doors of the temple, decorated with intricate carvings and sculptures depicting scenes from Hindu mythology, including episodes from the Ramayana and Mahabharatas, well as stories of Shiva and Parvati. Carvings on the Gapuras reflect a high level of artistic skill, demonstrating scenes from religious texts. Inside the temple, there are numerous sculptures and bas-reliefs depicting gods' mythological scenes and intricate ornaments. Of the central figures is a Nanda bull of Shiva located in front of the main sanctuary. The interior of the temple also contains mandalas and shrines dedicated to different aspects of the Hindu faith. Walls. The temple is covered with carved panels, each of which tells its own story. These panels depict scenes from the Puranas, myths, and epics, playing an important role in the overall artistic and cultural ensemble. In addition to the decorative function, they also serve as a source of knowledge about the religious and cultural traditions of that time. The domes and roof of the temple are decorated with carved ornaments and sculptures. These elements give the structure additional monumentality and elegance. The dome of the temple symbolizes Mount Kailash, the sacred abode of Shiva, emphasizing the sacred significance of this monument. The rock temple of Kailasanatha in Elorathis is an outstanding work of ancient Indian art combining architectural and sculptural skill. The sculpture of the Kailasanatha Temple one of the best examples of ancient Indian plastic art. They depict various scenes from Hindu mythology, including stories about Shiva, Parvata, Ramasita, and other mythological characters. Diamonds and carved panels cover the walls of the temple, narrating stories from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Two great epic works of India, scenes from the life of Shiva and other deities, are executed with great artistic expressiveness, revealing the spiritual and mythological aspects of the stone carvings in the Kailasanatha temple demonstrate the highest degree of skill of ancient Indian artisans. Each element, from small details to large statues, is executed with special attention to detail. Symbolism and iconostases of the temple have deep religious and philosophical meaning. Depiction of deities, mythological scenes, and symbols helps to convey the ideas of Hindu cosmology, spiritual path, and divine power. The interior of the temple is distinguished by the richness of artistic forms, inner halls and sanctuary decorated with sculptures and carved panel, creating an atmosphere, spiritual sublimity and beauty. Central sanctum, with its detailed carvings and sculpture, creates a sense of sacred presence and a sublime atmosphere. Rock temple of Kailasanatha in Ellora has important religious significance for Hinduists, being dedicated to God Shiva, one of the major deities of Hinduism. The main element of the temple is the main sanctum, where the lingam is located, symbolic phallic sign. Symbolizing Shiva, lingam is the object of special respect and rituals performed by pilgrims and priests. As near the main sanctum are located additional sanctums dedicated to other deities of the Hindu pantheon, including Parvati, wife of Shiva, and their sons Ganesha and Kartikeyu. Daily rituals at Kailasanatha temple include regular prayers, washing of the lingam, offering of fruits, flowers, and other objects. Important religious festivals such as Maha Shivaratri attract a large number of pilgrims who come to the temple to express their devotion to Shiva and receive his blessings. The architectural composition, sculpture of the Kailasanatha temple reflect important myths and legends, such as Shiva's fight with demons, his meditation on Mount Kailash, and his participation in the processes of creation and destruction of the universe. The Kailasanatha temple also serves as a place for meditation and personal spiritual quest. Many pilgrims and priests come here to find inner peace, spend time in prayer and contemplation. Temple atmosphere, filled with peace and goodness, promotes deep spiritual experience and strengthening personal connections with deities. Local legends and folklore stories associated with the temple play an important role in shaping religious beliefs and strengthening faith. They tell of divine interventions in the construction of the temple and its supernatural properties. These legends are passed down from generation to generation, forming a culture of worship and devotion of believers. To get to LA, you can use a regular bus from Aurangabad. The trip takes about an hour. Entrance to each temple is paid separately. Tickets cost about $5 US, approximately 200 rupees. It is important to remember that nothing can be taken from the temples as a souvenir, since esotericists believe that objects from ancient sanctuaries can bring misfortune. Stones from ancient temples are considered special objects, and trying to take something as a souvenir may lead to trouble. Temple security monitors compliance with this rule, and violators may be taken out of the temple without giving explanations. Visiting temples is allowed until sunset. Staying in them after sunset is prohibited. Guards may monitor tourists who remain in the sanctuaries after closing and take them out of there. I recommend you have flashlights when visiting temples, since some sculptures and carvings are poorly visible without additional lighting. You can conduct a tour at any time of the day up until night, but the best conditions for visiting temples are created in the early morning hours, when the lighting is most favorable. A special moment for visiting Ellora is December, when The annual music and dance festival is held this holiday is accompanied by musical and dance performances which take place near the temples. Participation in the festival adds vivid emotions and unforgettable impressions. Rock Temple of Kailasanatha and the entire complex of the Elakavasare unique ancient monuments, which continue to be important places for religious practice, cultural tourism and preservation of historical heritage of India and the whole world, friends. I have an offer for you which will allow you to travel without leaving your workplace. You have a unique opportunity to become part of our team. If you have video editing skills, you can voice videos in Russian, English and other languages, or write interesting scripts. We will be glad to work with you. Write to our Telegram bot link in the description. And for today, that's all for now.